Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hello, my friends. I'm back in Zurich. For one more time. Hopefully, next Satsang shall be on the roof of our house in Tiruvannamalai, so God will. We have the visa and the flight. Now all we need is a negative test. Next Friday we should be there. If it all works out, let's hope so. It's been quite interesting, an experience being here. Seeing the world that I knew before, visited a few times since I'm in India, and yet there is another feel here. You can still connect with the trees, with the beauty of the country, with the rivers and the lakes, the mountains. Just have been for a few days in the Jura mountain. It was very beautiful. And yet amongst the people, there is a tense feeling that hasn't been there. They say it has relaxed a lot, but it's still there. And they are talking of making the measures again more strict. So it's a strange world that is happening now. But then, this world is not as real as it appears. It's the magic show. It's the magic show where we have the opportunity to learn, to get richer for the experience, to let consciousness unfold, no matter the situation. There are always challenges one has to confront. And it's good to learn to accept them with equanimity. Let the things come as they come. Deal with them in a reasonable, as harmonious a way as possible, and let them go. Right now, it's certainly a special situation that gives a lot of challenges. Many people are suspicious of other people, which gives a funny feeling, or scared of other people. Some long to get close, others are afraid to get close. We just have to, as gracefully as we can, go through this. Eventually, it will pass. Eventually, all these mechanisms that try to take total control, they shall crumble. But until this is happening, we just to have somehow sit it out and go about it as playfully, as joyously as we can. No matter what is happening, we still can look at nature, connect with nature, feel the tenderness and the love in nature, appreciate the beauty of it, and joyously be happy about all the beautiful things that are still there, that will be there all the time. If we do that consciously, it's much easier than to accept, okay, amongst people, it's a bit funny right now. Well, tense. People are getting estranged from each other. There is a split between people who think one thing and people who think another thing. We just don't have to buy into it. Not resist the fact that it is as it is. And the more we keep that joyousness and that inner harmony, the more we are bringing a beautiful, constructive influence in the surroundings, and it will help others also to open up more to their inner beauty. No matter how challenging the situation is, it's always possible to not focus on the details of the situation, but bring the attention back to ourselves, to the here, to the now, to the timeless. Dive into that, relax into that, and feel the completeness and the harmony of it. And then automatically it will radiate. If you do so, you are the first who is benefiting. Everything is easier. But then everybody else around you also will benefit from your doing so. I've been talking about this before, and yet I feel it cannot be repeated too much. It's good to remind ourselves again and again, day after day, that we can, no matter what is happening, live in peace, live in joy, live in harmony. Okay, I stop now talking and invite you to come in. Is there anybody who is ready to come in and say something? Please go.
Hello, Werner.
Hello, Dial.
I'm very happy that you going to Tier 1 Malay soon. So it's great that it's possible now. Yeah. I just want to share you my experience about 20-day retreat. And if you have any comments, I would be happy to hear it.
Yeah.
So I come to that, and I was not prepared seriously. I was thinking maybe it's not happened, maybe they will not take me, they will not, maybe not get visa to the teacher. And I came absolutely not ready for serious 20-day course.
Yeah.
And I start meditate with enthusiasm as much as I can. But when I see the group, the students, there was about 70 students, very serious, very motivated, young, some of them young boys and girls. And I compare myself, I was not ready to work from morning till night because they was trying to meditate even when they was eating, walking, some people not walking at all, always meditating in the dark cells. So I find out I should motivate myself somehow as soon as I can. And I start to repeat, the death will take away everything. And it helped me to let go my business, my things, what I just recently doing. So it helped me. I start to working more or less serious, not really as others, but they motivate me very much. I see the young people that they got very good result in few years. So I see how meditation works, and I see the people got some results. So, and I work as much as I can. Day 6, I was feeling a lot of pain, emotional and physical. And I went to the teacher, complain, and he just tell me, just concentrate yourself. You lose concentration. Not very practical answer, but it very much helped me. This magical way I start meditate and everything start working. I start feeling, and that pain was not so strong as it was before. So, and I working and I got some important experience. I feel, how to say, very cells, how they're small and changing. I feel energy inside of myself, strong experience of energy, how it's work inside of me. So then I got a little bit sick and was suffering, but I was afraid to check my temperature because they might take me away from the course because of this epidemic situation. So, and finally I did the course. Not easy, 20 days, it's a really long time. So, but I feel I got some important experience, kind of initiation to new level. And I'm very happy that I did it. And I planning to do the same maybe next year. And maybe after a few years, 30-day course. There was same time 30-day course students, and they still sitting right now. So it was very impressive how they're working, and conditions the Vipassana center gives very good, very good. Silence, no physical problems, very good. So I'm very happy that I did it, but it was not easy. So I did as much as I can. So, but I will continue.
Very good. And now that gave you an enthusiasm and a momentum to continue now for yourself also.
Just after the course, I get a little bit tired and weak. Yeah. And few days I was not very enthusiastic. I meditate, of course, but not so much enthusiasm. But now I get used to this normal life, and I'm get more enthusiasm, and I feel some changes happening, and I meditate a little bit more successful. So I continue working at home alone. Yes, with Nelly as well. Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
In the beginning, you fell in the trap that you were comparing too much yourself and the others. Then you look at the others and you think, oh, it's tremendous what they are doing. Not necessary to do that. You do your thing as good as you can, and obviously you somehow hold out.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's happened because usually when I go to Vipassana, I sit in the first line and kind of very old students, example to others. And here I got sitting in the 5th line in the very back near the door, and I see the people who really more experience it in meditation and inspire on me. But same time, I feel how I will do that with them. It's not for normal people, it's for special people. That's why I comparing myself.
Yeah, of course, it's not for everybody to, for days and days to sit for hours. It's a good exercise. It's a good exercise to do such a retreat. Well done that you did it. But I mean, it's not the business what we are busy with. It's not that the more hour you can sit, the more you get enlightened or anything like this. For some people, this is very good. For other people, this would not work at all. And still, you can connect with that divinity also in other ways than sitting quietly. Now, so don't have any funny feelings that you see younger people that they were capable of sitting and you think they got quite somewhere in their meditation. That's where people really are, is not so easily visible. In a group, then under the group pressure, people can easily behave in certain ways because they know they are being observed. They know that there are other people there and there is often a slight sense of competition there. So, but anyhow, you did well, and it's good that you just stuck it out. You did it in your way, as you could. Just don't keep on thinking, oh, those others, they have been doing a lot of meditation and they are quite gotten somewhere, because it's not so sure. When the challenges come in the people's life, then it comes out whether there is really a solidity there or not.
Yeah, but anyway, it was helpful. I see this some result is possible, because some years I was thinking it's very long way, and to really get somewhere it's not possible in this life, but now I see it's possible. So I need to work in more seriously. So, and some results will come. So anyway, I was happy to see the group, such people.
Yeah, don't even expect too much visible results, because the changes, they are very subtle. Look, for example, Sudha, she has been going through a very hard time in the last years with a lot of physical pain, with a lot of energetic cramps, and she feels nothing is happening. She's missing all her time for spiritual development, with being busy with her difficult situation. And I keep on telling her, hey, you don't maybe feel it, but there is something very profound going on. And now when she was in Switzerland and facing situations that were very difficult for her before, then she understood, it seems there is still much more has happened than I really understand. Just from how she was capable to deal with situations that were difficult before, and now she just easily, gracefully dealt with them. So don't look too much for results or give too much importance on visible results. Just stay with yourself and dive into that, and subtly changes many times much more than we are aware of.
Yeah, thank you, Werner. Yeah, I will continue meditating. So
yes,
it's a good.
That is good. To continue anyhow. Anyhow, you're looking good. It did you well.
Yeah. Yeah, I lose weight, maybe 5 or 7 kg. Yeah. Look younger a bit.
Right.
Okay, wish you good journey to India.
Thank you.
Hope to meet you there some time after.
Yes, let's hope we meet there again. Huh?
Yeah, I'm looking for Tiruvannamalai when it's possible. Yeah.
Very good.
Okay. Thank you, Werner. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Is there anybody else who is ready to come in? Here? We have 38 people. Nobody wants to talk?
Okay. Werner, you hear me?
Hello, I hear a voice.
Wait. Can you hear me now, Werner? I don't know.
Ah, yes, I can see you.
Oh God!
Hello, Saida.
It's a big. How can I say? It's a big jump. I'm very nervous. You know, I don't like this online thing so much.
Yes. Congratulations that you are daring to come in.
Werner, is it possible to fall in consciousness? It's possible, no? Just today, a woman told me you fell from 12 to 3, and I feel like that, whatever that means. But there are so many, you know that, no? I don't need to tell you all this stuff, no?
Don't you listen to people who tell you stuff like this. You cannot really make with your essential consciousness any such hierarchies that you were in 12 and now you are in 3. I know that you had a period when you felt more at peace and more in harmony, and now it doesn't come. That doesn't mean that you have fallen back, that you were somewhere and you have fallen and now you have to do the work again to get to the point where you were before. It simply means in your story, somehow it happened that you had more easily access to that peace, to that harmony, which is anyhow always there. And now there is a lot of stuff coming to the surface from your mind, from your subconscious mind. You have to deal with that. I don't think that you have fallen. Don't think that you have thrown away something. You just can learn to accept that right now it's not easy. But all the work that you have done.
There was no work, Werner. At these days, there was no work. That's the difference. Now it's so much work.
But somehow it has still the work that has brought you to that point.
Ah, shit. I have to, wait 1 second. I have to plug you in. Wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now you're upside down. Okay. Anyhow, whatever you have experienced there, whatever brought you up to that point that the experience is possible, nothing is lost. Where it counts, it's still there. It has not been lost. Superficially, we can have the feeling as if we are falling from grace, but it's the superficial experience. Deep down, whatever is there, real, is there, solid, nothing can take that away. And right now, you have to learn to somehow accept, okay, right now it's difficult. Don't think I made a mistake, that's why I fell and I'm being punished, but simply you can accept that it's part of your way, that after having had a time of grace, that are you still there? Can you still hear me? Anyhow, you can hear it on the recording if you are not more hearing it now, but after a time of grace, where things are easy, it is possible. It happens to many people on the way that there comes a time again of more conflict, more difficulties, and more challenging. And then it's easy to think, oh my God, I fell, or something, it's all lost what is there, what was there. But it's not really lost. Just for the time being, we don't have so easily access to that aspect, that peaceful aspect, that harmonious aspect, that is always there. So please keep your courage and don't feel so bad about it. It's more difficult right now. I can accept, I can agree, but you make it more difficult, even more difficult, by thinking something is totally wrong, that you made something wrong, that you have fallen. So maybe be careful a bit from who you are getting advice. If people discourage you like this, that you have fallen from this number to that number, then don't take it serious. Whatever was there when your life was easier, more peaceful, more harmonious, is still there. And right now, it's generally a difficult period. It's a tremendous change in energy going on. The energy of the earth is changing. And there's a lot of tension. There's a negative energy that wants to get more control and keep control. There is a positive energy that is shaking up the old structures. So it's a tremendously turmoilous time. It's intense. There's such an intensity. And in such a period, it's easy that also the individual goes through difficult time, has to work out stuff that comes up to the surface. So try to simply accept, okay, it's more difficult. Don't make it even more difficult by holding on to the thought that you're being punished or something is totally wrong or you're fallen. Nothing of that. Just, all right, right now I have to go through this somehow or other. I have to go through this. And it will pass again. And gradually or suddenly, it may be again more peaceful, more harmonious, even more profound than what you have experienced before. So just keep the courage to continue, not to let the mind be pulled deeper and deeper and deeper in a dark hole. When we do that, then the difficult situation gets even more difficult. When we get sucked into that depression and start to be full of self-pity, then it's getting even more and more difficult. Find a way to encourage yourself. Connect with nature. Now you are near the sea, so go dive in the sea, connect with the mother, the ocean. Connect with the earth, connect with the sun. They are always your friends. They are always helping you. And courageously just go from day to day, not comparing with others, not comparing with your past, not expecting what is going to happen in the future. Just deal from moment to moment with what is going on, with courage, with strength, and it will pass again. that beauty, that harmony that you know about is always there. Okay. I don't know whether you have heard me, but at least you can hear it in the recording if you haven't heard the last part of what I said. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. I see your picture is there again, but the microphone is off. If you have said anything, I haven't heard it.
No, I didn't hear anything. I just came back in now.
I'm sorry, I continue talking, and then you can get it after that from the recording.
There's nothing more to say, actually. It's okay.
It's all right. I wish you well.
Yes.
Just don't give up. Just don't give up. Courageously. Go on.
Okay.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Okay. Is there anybody else who would like to come in? Please come.
Hello, Werner.
Hello. I always have to reflect again about your name.
Yeah. You can call me Lila from now on.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Your picture is very dark. Is it possible to have a bit more light?
Yeah.
Now I can see you. Right.
Yeah, okay. Great.
Yeah.
Because it's so hot outside, I closed all the shades.
Yeah.
Air conditioning. So I'm happy that you repeat yourself every meeting that we have about this situation in the world now.
Mm-hmm.
It's very comforting that you just repeating actually the same things again and again. It gives me a feeling of togetherness with everybody, at least here. Yeah. So I just wanted to say that for me, what makes this situation very powerful and different from other difficult situations I've been in through my life, such as when I was sick with cancer, and how no matter how difficult it was, there are so many things to do. I had to go to the hospital to take care of everything for a year and a half. I was busy getting better. So what makes it different this time, that so far I'm not sick, thank God, but there isn't much to do.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I noticed how like in Facebook, I can see what people have in their minds, and they express all sorts of emotions, and yeah. So I noticed this happening outside and of course inside too, but there's no enough room somehow inside for all this, so I just like let go, because I can't go. There isn't much I can do with all this information. Also from inside, all the information of different emotions, fear or helplessness, or whatever comes. So I can just put it aside somehow. And I don't go to places. I stay mostly in the village, in the settlement where I live.
Yeah.
But I feel rather safe physically.
Yeah.
And one thing that I do, somebody recommended, is to spend some time every day barefoot on the ground, on the earth, on the soil.
Yeah.
Alone, just to ground and to let everything connect inside.
Yes.
And run like. And I do a lot of work in the garden every morning, a few hours, until the sun becomes really strong. And even though I'm not allowed to be in the sun, I'm not in the sun, I'm in the shade, but still the sun is there. I'm not allowed because of my skin, but still I do it because I feel somehow that it's very, very good for me.
Yeah.
I remember you saying actually something about that you spend some time every morning watching the sun or something. Yeah, just wanted to share it like that, but it's not even like in a retreat because I just don't have, somehow I don't have any an agenda. I don't know what to do.
That's the thing.
In regards to the situation. Yeah.
Right. As you said before, if there is a disease, then you have the feeling you can do something about it. You go to doctors, you take treatments, you do something, and now the present situation, there is very much the feeling there's nothing you can do about it. But still, for your life, you can do something about it. You can either get worried and depressed and very full of fear, or then you can bring your attention back to yourself and be in peace, in harmony with yourself. That much you can do. Externally, you may not be able to influence the situation much, but the more you're doing that, the more actually you do influence without doing something about it. So, but it's true. The challenge is even more than when there is something concrete there, when there is something happening on a global scale. Then as an individual, you have the feeling, but I cannot do anything about it. And yet, the very fact that you keep yourself busy, that you keep yourself joyous, that you remain with yourself is doing something. And the more people do that, the more it's influencing the whole story. So in that sense, you do something about it without externally really doing something.
And also, I didn't take the decision to do it. It's not like I was, like practicing.
Yeah.
And not doing anything when there's nothing to do. It's a situation that is somehow the biggest teacher ever.
Yes.
I've never experienced it, and as I say, I didn't take a decision to. Yeah. So actually, in my case, I feel, I'm not happy that this is all happening, but it gives me a lot of strength, and it does help me to center myself.
Right. I don't think that anybody can say they are happy that this is happening. But what we can is not to get overwhelmed by it. And so keep in touch with yourself, at peace, in harmony, and then do whatever you like. Without thinking that you should go out and do more about it. No. You're doing your part by not getting into negative spaces, into dark spaces, and get locked there. Even just to bring you out of that is all you need to do. It's all that you need to contribute to give a possibility that it can change for the good. And then externally, you do whatever you can, whatever you like.
Thank you.
Hario, Hario, Hario. Okay, my friends, is there anybody else who would like to talk? Please come. What we just talked about with Leora. Of course, it's not easy for the mind to accept there is a situation we don't appreciate, we don't like, and somehow I cannot do anything about it. And then the tendency is there to think and to struggle, what could I do, what could I contribute? And some people, it's their destiny, it's their journey, it's where they have a position, where they may externally, visibly contribute something to push, to pull in a certain direction, but everybody is contributing simply by consciously being conscious, by consciously facing the difficult situations and not get overwhelmed by them and not get sucked into the dark. Everybody is contributing. But for the mind, it often seems, but oh, it's so terrible, I cannot do anything. But yes, we cannot, everybody cannot externally do something about it, but we can, in the little circle where we are functioning, do something about it. Keep ourselves joyous, keep ourselves in touch with reality, and then just be friendly with the people we meet. Give a smile when you see that people are ready to receive it. In that way, we do contribute. Just that loving kindness that is there in everybody, that we connect with that and let it radiate. And then it's manifesting in little day-to-day actions without our having the feeling I can now go out and change the situation, whatever is happening in the world. But we do contribute that there is an opening, that we help the positive forces to gradually manifest more and more. We don't have to think that we have to now go out and make history. It's just being that does the job. And the more people opening up to that, the more powerful this becomes, the smoother and the faster there can be a change to the better. And the more people who are holding on to the fear that is being induced in them from all the propaganda, the more difficult it will be, and the more painful and the slower it will be, the process. But it's going to happen. This period of darkness will pass, and out of it, out of the whole struggle of it, something very beautiful can come out of it. So we can do something about it by just keeping ourselves joyous, consciously joyous, consciously conscious, consciously here, now, in touch with reality. That's the best we can do, possibly, for ourselves and for everybody else around and for the whole world. Okay, is there anybody else who would like to come? Please come.
Hello, Werner.
Hello, Nelly.
Thank you very much for your inspiration. I feel it very deep and it helps me so much, and it pushes me to go ahead. And I feel a lot of support from you and from Dayal's course and his what he tells about others' experience, other people experiences. Yes, I feel so much help from a lot of external help. I feel it so much, and now I see that it's really very helpful to go for long courses, for 10 days, for 20 days. I can't say that I'm ready for this because, to be honest, I don't like this so strict rules of going. I don't feel resonation with him, but I see how it is. It can be helpful to be alone. Don't speak with other people, and even don't do anything. Don't distract attention even for going to the shop for food or to prepare this and something like this that I did. I see that, yes, I think it is, it helps to go deeper.
It can, if you are ready for it, if you are open for it, if you are the type for it. It's not necessarily now that everybody could do that, and it would be good for everybody. And
Yes,
now
yes.
you did your own moderate retreat during that period, all by yourself.
Yes, yes, I'm happy with it. I like this my own way. I like it. Yes, but I say that I feel that I'd like to go deeper, but maybe it will happen naturally. I think maybe I will go. I don't know. I say that I need more time for meditation, but if I live like I am, I should spend it for some usual things that are necessary. Yeah, but maybe it is okay now, like to stay like this. Yeah. Anyway, I feel that something is happening, and I feel that when I sit, I feel a lot of tensions in my body, but it doesn't disturb me as before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just watch them. I see how strong I cling to. I think I cling to some ideas, and that's why my body reacts. This reaction in my body, so much tension. It reflects my mind shrinks, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I become aware more how strong I cling.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah. Yes, I see that all my tensions, it is what I do myself. Because of this clinging. Yeah, I see it more clear, and physically I see that it is easy for me to sit, because I feel these tensions, but I can sit anyway. I don't feel so much pain as it was before, and I hope that something a little relaxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow, don't create now a new idea and fix always the thought that you should be sitting more. I mean, if that comes and it so happens, then it's fine. But otherwise, sit for some time and then do what you called the ordinary things that are necessary. But stay in touch when you do that, as good as you can. And then it is also practice. It's not simply when you are sitting that you are practicing, but if you keep that consciousness while you are doing your ordinary household work and go shopping, but if you keep that touch, then everything becomes practice.
Yes, I'll try do it. I see it is not easy, but I should do it. Yeah.
Of course, of course, we'll forget time and again with the attention absorbed in what is happening. But then when you remember, you just at that moment come back, connect and relax. But then everything becomes practice. Then you need not think, oh, I should sit more, I should sit more, I should sit more.
And no, I don't think that I should sit to reach something. I just feel inside that I have a big work to do with my tensions, and it's like I come to the house where a lot of how to say, a lot of I should make it to make a big cleaning.
Yeah.
Yes, and I see how much work I should do, and that's why I see that I need a lot of time for this, to do it by little. So that's why I feel enthusiasm with it. But really, it doesn't happen more than maybe 3 hours a day, or maybe 4. Yes, like this. I just.
That's quite a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
3 or 4 hours a day sitting. Not many people do that regularly. So, but then the cleaning also goes on when you are conscious and you are not sitting and doing your ordinary things.
Yes,
the very fact that you see all that stuff that is there, that is to be cleaned out, that is to be given up, the clinging of the mind, the very fact that you see it is already the first step that it goes. As long as we are not accepting that all this stuff is there, then as long as we cannot see that some cleaning is necessary, then usually nothing much is happening. So it's very good that you see all this, the very seeing is already doing something.
Okay, thank you. I'll go on.
Yes, of course you go on. Good girl. Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hello, Werner.
Hello. I forget always, what's your name again?
Ritis.
Ritas, right?
Ritas and Ilona.
Elena, I remember, right?
Okay, I wanted to ask about attention and awareness.
Yes.
For example, if I'm watching something, so I put attention on the object.
Yes.
And I became aware of it.
Yes.
And I also can put attention on the thoughts and emotions, also become aware.
Yes.
And also I can put attention on the silence or peace and become aware, or I even can say that I'm watching nothingness and become aware of it.
Yes.
But if I become aware of it and put attention on something that it's an object.
Yes.
So it's not that in the sense of the self, because it's if I can put an attention on something, it becomes an object.
Yes.
And so how and that this functioning goes, attention itself is the property of the mind.
Not quite.
Not quite.
Not quite. No.
Or is it because if the self is without a property by definition, and it's so how come this attention is if I put on something, it attracts my attention and automatically, or I can put it by will.
Yes.
If it's a will, so it's again it's a thought, and it's thought directs this attention. So, and where in this whole situation, this I am or the self.
You said the definition of the self is without properties.
Well, at least by Vedantic definition, it's
right.
It's not an object and doesn't have a properties.
Yes, it's not an object. And that it doesn't have any properties is just a way of talking about it, but nothing is really defining the self. It doesn't have any properties in the sense that you cannot categorize it, but the potential for all the properties is there in the self. And it's not simply the mind function, the attention. It's that capacity in this human form, it's certainly also in other forms, but to direct consciousness on a certain point. And that is beautiful. There's nothing wrong with it. And we can then direct it to an object that I am the subject, and there is the object I direct my attention. But then we can turn the attention back to the source, where it's coming from. At least we can give the direction that the attention brings your consciousness back to itself, and then somehow the attention drops. The act of the attention drops, the willful act drops. But still, as long as the attention has the tendency to go over the place, there's nothing wrong with using a certain will to consciously tell yourself, redirect the attention back to the source. And the moment you feel here now, then there is no more question of a will or directing the attention. It's the process of bringing the awareness back to itself that is a certain action, and there's nothing wrong with it.
But when bringing attention to itself, so it's a tendency to want to cling something to the object attention, and then looking either at silence or at space or at peace or at good emotions. It's that means it's not directed to the self if it's still an object.
Right, it's directed to, it's not so easy to come straight back to the essence. So it's easier to, from a more scattered space, to bring it to one thing. And then it's in a way, when you have it on that one object that you focus, all you have to do from there is to let go and relax. And it's like you're right behind that. So it's a step to bring the attention to whatever you have said, to peace. But peace is already a very beautiful expression of the self. You cannot say that peace is the self, but it's an expression of the self. And if you bring your attention to peace, to silence, then you don't have to do anything more. You just relax in that. And the attention sinks back by itself.
So this relaxing, it's not a willful act. It should happen somehow, right?
Right, but you can still give the impulse and then let it go. There's nothing wrong giving the impulse, then just don't hold on then to the new idea, relax, relax, and get all tense about relaxing, relax. But you still can tell yourself some things like, okay, just let go, just relax. Give the impulse and then let it happen. It's right. It's not an act of will. It's a capacity that we develop more and more to let it happen. That's the difficulty for the mind to somehow get it on one level, that somehow it's clear we cannot do all this. It's not possible to do. And yet, as long as we are doing so many other things that prevent us from being self-aware, then we don't get around doing something about it. But the doing is more to become aware how much we are doing anyhow unconsciously all the time, and then learn to let go of that. And there is still a certain doing involved in that. See what we are doing and learn not to do that anymore. And then we can actively participate to bring the attention back to that, up to that silence, up to that pure consciousness, but we cannot do something more about it. From that point there, it's just a letting go. Let it happen. As soon as we try to go then deeper or beyond or God knows what, then it's already creating more distance. But up to that point, there is nothing wrong with giving the impulses. For a moment, it may be perfectly all right also with will. Give a moment an impulse with will, but then let it go. It's not, we need not think that all the doing is wrong. The doing is not to create something, not to reach something. It's not that there is a goal far away and we have to do a lot and do a lot and do a lot and then finally we reach. But we have gotten used to do so much all the time without being aware of it. All our reality, we keep it alive with doing a lot of mental work all the time, thinking continuously about our stories, about our world, about our ideas, about what the other things. It thinks and thinks and thinks, and then we are doing continuously. And so long that, as long as that unconscious doing goes on, somehow we have to do something about that. Not in order to reach the self, but to become aware how much we're preventing our conscious experience of that simple beingness. And then the doing is learn not to do what we are doing all the time.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid of directing the attention and think that this is preventing you. But you can give the impulse and let go. And can give the impulse and let go. Somehow or other, everybody has to find out for themselves how it works best.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hello, Mark.
Hi. I hate to bring up this topic again, but with you, I guess better. I was having a good holiday a few days on the Ostsee, up at the Baltic, and I have a half sister who is in California, and she's taking lots of supplements and high-end supplements, and she's taking lots of Chinese herbs and trying to avoid taking a shot.
Yeah.
And she lives in a house with everyone who has a shot, and her father is obviously married to my mother, and she's allowed to go there anymore because she doesn't have a shot.
Yeah.
So,
sorry,
her mother's house.
Mark, your connection is not very good. Sometimes
Okay.
I'm not hearing very well. I don't know whether you can do something about it.
Does it sound better now? I don't know. Give me a second here. I try to go closer to the Velon.
Right.
All right, there's Florentina. I can say.
Hello, Florentina.
All right, so is that a little better? Can you hear better now?
I think so, yes. Let's see.
Okay, so what is interesting to me is that because I don't have an injection yet,
Yeah.
Technically I'm not invited into my mother's house anymore either.
Yeah.
If my half sister isn't invited anymore. So she wrote me a letter sort of feeling punished and wishing to not feel so punished by my parents. And I wrote a very generous letter saying, hey, you're doing great, and how courageous of you for not having a shot, but everyone else does. And I really admire you, and hang in there, and don't see it as punishment. You just don't really fit into their system.
Yeah.
It's not really a punishment. It's just really a feeling of not belonging. And after I wrote her this letter, she didn't write now for a week or so.
Yeah.
And neither has my family. So obviously they're sorting all that out, that I'm not having a shot, and we haven't really discussed it, but in America, of course, no one can go to work unless they have a shot in most work situations. And so the feeling that comes through is a kind of exile, right? A kind of isolation. Feeling can't really return to the country, can't really return to the house. And at the same time, a kind of confusion between all the family members about what really is going on. And I did my best to read about both sides of all this, right? And I felt obliged to really inform myself and really read all the doctors and what's being said, but it never really helps me say I know. It helps me say I really don't know now.
Right. That's correct.
So I guess I'm wondering about this feeling, to what degree to just sit with it and really feel this sense of not belonging, right?
Yeah.
In a certain way. And like you say, kind of understand that this will pass and there might be much bigger problems actually going on to be observed at the moment, and to what degree to pay attention to those feelings, because it is such a, it's intense to wake up in the morning and sense that you really would like some kind of response of agreeing not to agree, something like that, right? Agreeing not to agree.
Right.
But it's not coming. They're pissed off, I think, right? I think they're angry. Or confused, right?
And for the time being, there is no solution. It's horrible how it's dividing people. And the solution is for the individual. That like your half-sister, if she is convinced that is right for her, that she, I think it's perfect what you told to her. It's courageous that she's doing it. And somehow, if a person like that can have the broad-mindedness to accept that the other members of the family cannot accept it because from their standpoint, it's not correct, that she can accept, okay, for the time being, I'm not being accepted. It's not such an easy thing to do, especially for somebody who is not spending their life with a lot of self-attention. But right now, there is no other way but to learn this. Also, it's working also the other way. It's like there are groups of people, they are all convinced they should not get the shot, and then somebody gets the shot, and then they also getting like exiled from their group. It's no matter what you are doing, there's always the other group that will not accept what you are doing. And so we cannot change the others, but we can change how we feel about it. It doesn't mean that we have to start to like the situation, but we can accept that the situation is not to our liking, but it is as it is, and for the time being, there is a division, and maybe friends that liked me before, they don't want to have anything to do with me, and family members with whom I could at least move to some degree, they don't want anymore. The best way is to accept, because as long as we are struggling against it, it's hurting more, but it doesn't change the fact. And I cannot go out and try to discuss with the others and make my situation clear. Right now, the emotions are so high about this subject. It's amazing. It's crazy. I mean, people are not more rational. It's so emotional. And it's better to accept that's what is happening now. It's not pleasant. It's a pity that we cannot openly, joyously, freely connect with people we could, but struggling against it just makes it worse. So if you can somehow inspire your half-sister to try not to struggle against the fact that this is happening now, that she could learn to understand that from their standpoint, what they believe, what they think, they somehow have to react like this. And then if she can accept it, it may still hurt, but it may hurt less. But the less we accepting, the more we resist the fact of the experience, the bigger it comes, the bigger the hurt. And as you said, morning waking up and feeling sort of secluded, estranged, then okay, that is there. May it be so for the time being. And then when you accept, it's already totally manageable.
Yeah, beautiful. I think the interesting challenge for me is also that this half sister has, how can I say, even less, how can you say, she's not polite. She doesn't write back and say, thank you for your feedback, you know, interesting ideas or something, you know, I have no idea. And so again, like, you can put yourself in any idea of a group or bonding with somebody's idea, but in the end, you're gonna also feel pushed back or pushed around or not feel belonging because everybody is moving with this. And I think most people are overwhelmed.
Yes. Yes. That it's not a nice situation, but that's the situation. And then also with her, you would like to be supportive, you would like to help her, but then she doesn't take the trouble to communicate with you, then it's also another thing to accept. Okay, then if she asks, if she opens, if she wants to hear what I can say, if she wants to energetically connect, then great, I'm ready, I'm ready to connect and be supportive, but then if that readiness is also not there from her, that basically she just wanted to complain, but she didn't want to help have your support, then that's another thing that also to be accepted. Okay, that's we cannot.
Acceptance goes on and on. Yes,
we cannot force people to help them.
No, I feel also when the triangulating starts, then instead she goes to my family and then says, well, he said this, and then they can get excited about it. And again, it's again this, how do you be silent and clear? I think go your way at the same time is what I feel I appreciate support for, because there is a kind of silent not knowing that also can be strong without feeling weakened. These little events can feel weakening.
Yes, but it's also nothing wrong. Many times it's good not to say anything, but sometimes it's also good to say something, but then you are aware it may have its consequences. It's repercussions. Then okay, so be it. As long as you are okay with yourself. And even in the situation, as you said, you read this side, you read that side, and the end result is that you are basically confused. And actually, it is the truth. Nobody knows for sure anymore what to believe, what not to believe. There's so much stuff going on, information on both sides, that at the end of it, you have to say, I don't really know, but you can feel for yourself what is best for you. And when you are at peace with yourself, then you have also the strength to take it that others are not happy with your decisions. And if you are silent, it's fine, but if you say something about it, then there may be some repercussions. But if you are at ease with yourself, if you are okay, I'm as good as I can, to my best knowledge, to my best conscience, I'm true to myself, then it doesn't matter so much if such stuff is coming. And especially in this time, we can just try to be more understanding and tolerant, okay, because the emotions are so high, people will quickly say and think and feel not nice things about other people. So be it.
Yeah, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Wish you well.
Yeah,
Hario.
much,
Hario. Hario. Is there anybody else who would like to talk? You're welcome to come in. Mark said, sorry that I bring this up again, but of course, it's something that is so totally present. It's simply there. It stares in your face day after day. If you have decided to live somewhere out in the wild, all alone, then maybe not. But as soon as you are in the society, at least to some degree, it's staring in your face. That tremendous emotional upheaval that is going on. That tremendous emotional struggle that is going on. People trying to cope with the situation and then desperately hold on to a belief for or against and then need to be emotional about it in order to convince themselves, in order to set them right. And then so easily they condemn somebody who feels in another way, who does it another way. It's just a fact. It's better not to struggle against it. Better not to get depressed because of it. It won't be forever like this, but for the time being, there's no point in struggling against the fact of experience, what is happening right now. But actually, that is always the case. We make ourselves suffer because we struggle against the fact of what we are experiencing. Now it's just a bit more intense for everybody, but this is always the thing. It's not the circumstances that make us suffer, it's how we deal with them. And it's that resistance to accept things the way they are and then deal with them. It's that resistance that is hurting. To accept is not in any way weakness. To accept is not a fatalistic attitude, oh, it's so bad, I cannot do anything about it, and let people walk over you. To accept means simply not to struggle against the fact that I experience right now what I experience. And then we can give our creative impulse into it. And sometimes we can change the situation, and sometimes we cannot change the situation. But acceptance is not weakness, acceptance is strength. As long as we are accepting along with courage, and not with a defeatist mind, oh, it's terrible, accept it's terrible. And then that will pull us deeper and deeper into a dark space. Acceptance is an expression that we learn to understand, to feel, to experience, that actually our well-being comes out of ourselves. I am the source of my happiness. I am the source of my well-being. I am complete in myself. And the deeper that understanding and experience goes, the less we are expecting the circumstances to hold us up with the feedback that we are getting. Acceptance is an expression of strength that we are gaining by having gotten deeper into that understanding and experience that actually my happiness, my sense of fulfillment comes out of myself. When we focus more on that, then it's getting easier to accept people who behave in ways that we don't like, who accept people who reject us, of whom we would rather expect that they are friendly, that they are connecting, that we can be nice together. If it is not happening, then wish them well. Accept that it is as it is, and it cannot make me suffer, because I am the source of my own happiness. I am the source of my own fulfillment. Essentially, I am divinity, and all that beauty, that happiness, that fulfillment we are looking for comes from that essential divinity. The more you become aware, I am that, the less we are expecting that the circumstances support us. And the more we can then be tolerant with people whom we would expect to behave different, to have more understanding, to have more tolerance. If they don't have it, then for the time being, it is so. And right now, it's extremely so. There have been forces that push in that way, that people getting out of fear, hang on to an idea, to a belief, be it this way or be it that way or be it whatever, and then hold on for dear life and get all emotional if you question it with your words or with your actions. So this is the situation, but in spite of that situation, you are still that divine essence, and you have always the possibility to dive back with your attention back into that and relax in that and let that inner beauty blossom and bubble up. Okay, my friends, I think we stop the official part with these words. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.